Hello BZPower! This is ChocolateFrogs with another set review, and as you can see, it's a big one. Thank you to LEGO for sending BZPower this set so I can review it. It is the biggest and most expensive set in my collection, and probably the biggest set that I have built on my own. It is, of course, the 75144 Snowspeeder, part of the Ultimate Collector's Series for LEGO Star Wars. This set comes with 1,703 pieces and retails in America for $200. So be sure to visit BZPower for all the full text review and photos for this as well. As you can see, the box is pretty big. Got a nice big picture of the Snowspeeder and some AT-ATs in the background. Of course, this is the iconic ship from the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, where this thing winds some rope around the legs of the AT-ATs and topples them over. So it's a classic Star Wars ship, and LEGO has made a huge version compared to the other smaller minifig scales that we've had. Also on the box we get a top view of the set and some look at the wing flaps, some vents on the sides there. We look at the top and it tells us the set is 30 centimeters wide and 40 centimeters long, and that we get a couple of Rebel Snowspeeder minifigs with it, the pilot and the gunner. There aren't any names associated with these, although some fans online speculated they might actually be based on real characters. And then on the back of the box, we get some more details about the Snowspeeder. The cockpit opens, we have some landing gear down there, the steering wheel actually turns, the guns have some turrets, some inside looks at the interior, and some extra features with some gears and the engines there. And then of course it has a stand with a cool plaque, so you can display the Snowspeeder when you're not swishing it around, and it'll look really cool. That's the box, but the insides are also important, so let's open it up and see what we got. There are 13 bags with all these pieces. Let's start with the sticker sheet, where we have the plaque, all the details, and plenty of little decals there. We have this massive book, instruction booklet, that is going to be crazy to use. And then we have these parts, starting with this angled plate, one of my favorites. We have the printed tile. We got some of these 1x4 inverted slopes. Some clip pieces, not exactly new, but totally useful in this. A printed 2x2 slope. Some of these tile plates in dark blue. This angle bit in this dark gray. Now I know some of these aren't new, but they're pretty cool to me. Like this sloped piece, double slope, 1x3. This angled piece just looks pretty fancy, lots of good uses there. And the 3x3 plate, which came out a year or two ago and is really neat. Let's see what else we got. A few more parts that we get include a white collectible minifigure base plate. I know we're used to seeing these in gray or black mostly, so seeing in the white's really cool. Hopefully we can get more of these just for our own collection to use as displays or in builds. We get a 16 stud long Technic pin, so that's pretty neat. These usually only come up to 12 in Bionicle sets. That's cool to see, a little extra longer one. And then a fancy new windshield, windscreen. Let's see, that is 6x8 with the big slope on there. So that's going to look great as well. That's pretty much it for all the special and new parts. So it's kind of weird to me. Well, not too weird, but there's not as many as I would have expected. It's a lot of parts that we've seen before, but that's cool too. They all come together to build that really cool new thing. Let's see what that looks like. And I just have to show off the instruction booklet here. It's got a lot of great information right at the front. We have about the Star Wars design team, started in 1999. We get some facts about the Snowspeeder within the Star Wars universe. Then we get to meet the model designer. We get to meet the graphic designer. All those stickers we see, especially the placard at the base of the display. Always impressive with the UCS sets. We have some more art over here, which is important for the meeting the art director right over here. And that completes the factoid portion of the front of the instruction booklet. But then on the next page, we have a breakdown of what all the different bags go into for each set, each portion of the set. And that's something I've never seen before, although I'm going to guess that it's also in other UCS sets. I think it's really cool just to show you where you're going to be step by step. So if you're halfway through, you're not discouraged about, oh, when is this set going to be finished? You know what to expect part by part. Also, it might help if you're doing building a pair build, a team build, building with somebody else. You can start on one portion while they can start on the wings or the base, things like that. So it's a nice little breakdown of everything going on there. Let's check out the back just in case. We got all the pieces that come with it, but nothing else. So the build starts with a very sturdy frame. There's some Technic builds inside there, lots of layering of plates and a couple bricks. And so it's giving me a very confident feel for the base of the Snowspeeder. We get a couple details, some trans orange parts, these fins, flags right up here. They don't really wiggle too much, so that's great. And then a smooth side here. I'm guessing this is the back, just based on it being smooth, and we'll probably put some engines here. Although I almost thought it would be like this, so that it would just come in to the back like that. I'm gonna guess it's like this. We'll check on that after a couple more bags to see what the underside looks like. And here's where we're at so far. We've got some pieces layering the top here. We've got some details showing up inside, some curved bits, some slope bits. We start to see some of the printed pieces being used. Let's see, we got some of these hooks right here waiting something. Not too sure what. Probably the wings, but I would expect them to be attached in another way as well. On the underside, we got some of the orange. As we know, Snowspeeder has a little bit of that, and I'm pretty sure that it's pointing front like that. So yeah, these are towards the middle front of it now, as opposed to being part of the back. Alright, let's keep going. Next up, we have added some details to the underside with some landing gear right there. And some more small details, including lots of ice skates. Those are going to be a pain to constantly readjust, unfortunately. But LEGO's been using these as decals in some Star Wars sets lately, so it's no surprise to see them here. Also up top, we get some more interior decals, some of the printed slopes, and some of the stickered slopes, and some of the stickered tiles as well. And then right here we've added some gear stuff, which you can see removes that, and we'll see what that does later on. Next up, we have this little top part right there, which is a windscreen for the back gunner. We got some decals added there, along with the seats for pilot and gunner. Looks really nice. And then we have the front nose added, using some hinge parts there, some ball hinges. Got a couple parts, 1, 2, 3, and 4. They're a little flimsy right now. I'm sure those will be more secure once the actual wings are added on as well. And here's the display stand. I'll put the sticker on the placard when I'm more confident in my sticker laying skills. But it has the minifigs on each side. It's a nice sturdy Technic frame. And then it can hold the Snowspeeder. There we go. Looks great. The lower wings have been attached using the ball and joint things down here like I was talking about, and then there's a rubber band holding them up. Don't really like using rubber bands. They could break over the years, but they'll probably be hidden, so if you want to use your own, no one will know. And then over here we have some flaps held in by hydraulics as well. After 2 more bags in, we still haven't finished a wing. There's still a lot to finish up in the back, but we do have one of the guns on there. Interesting technique to get it in that angle instead of a straight line with the studs, but it is a little jiggly right there. Solid support underneath, some good colors there, and a little bit of greebling and some stickers. So far so good. Alright, so I've finished adding everything onto the wing here. It's on the actual body of the Snowspeeder. And I was worried about the jiggling of the gun here, but it secures right up front. So it's secure, it looks great. Classic white, orange stuff here. What's really cool is back here, you turn this and the flap comes up, and then you turn it again and it goes down. So some simple techniques underneath here. See that? Just goes up and down. It doesn't even have any actual plus pins doing that. It's all just friction between some of the circle round pins. So that's just really, really clever there. Alright, let's keep building. And now I've attached the second wing right here. Added the stickers and everything. And if you're like me, you first noticed that there was a 2x4 slope on this side and not on this side, and suddenly thought, oh no, did I miss a piece? Nope. Looking at the instructions, looking at the box, looking at the picture, it's like that. There's one piece on the left, on the right wing, and not one on the left wing. I will have to rewatch Star Wars to see just how accurate that is. That's really interesting, and it just shows the attention to detail that they put into these sets. I've got the stickers on so far. Next up is the canopy and some parts over here to fill in the back. And here we have the completed UCS Snowspeeder. I've completely obliterated the sticker sheet. I've gone to the last page of the instruction booklet, so I am pretty sure we are done. It looks great. It is a Snowspeeder, that's for sure. It has all the right shapes to it, all the right angles. The previous sets, they do some of that, but this one just has every little chance, every little moment to really get it right. And it looks great. Let's see. There we go, another angle there with the wings. Let's see, open the cockpit up, and you got some chairs and a steering wheel for the gun turret. Where to start? Alright, the overall build, we got the 2 wings, which are flat pieces. We have the front angle pieces right here, which are a little odd to place, but they usually get the shape right in the end after fiddling with it a little bit. Oh, that happens. Okay, so as you can see, there's a few stability issues, which is one of my overall complaints about the set. Is it's a little delicate in places, and I feel like it shouldn't be. If it's a UCS set like this that you want to pick up and swish around, they probably could have done better with some of the wing stability and some of the littler pieces they use underneath the set as well. So I'm put it on the stand. I'll show the stand off in a moment or two, but should all be better right now. Other areas of concern are some of these flaps up here and some detailing right here. A little bit flimsy, nothing to be too worried about though. But at this angle, we can take a look into the cockpit. We got some decaling with some stickers, and some pieces are printed. That's good. We have two chairs, one for the pilot, one for the gunner. The chairs themselves a little bit flimsy when you're trying to put them in, so don't touch them after that. But everything goes in fine. The hatch closes nicely. Let's see, the gun turrets here are pretty stable, and then there we go, they don't really turn at all, but then when you turn the engine right here, it lifts up the flap, which is really swell. And then you turn it again and it closes nice and smooth. So that's pretty cool. And then also here you have this gun turret, and then with the steering wheel in the back, the steering wheel turns with the gun turret. So if you turn the steering wheel, then the gun turret moves. Alright. Towards the back here we have some pretty nice detailing, a bunch of flat plates to get this vent detailed. Really clever idea there. We got some more fins right here. So those are pretty stable. They'll move as you want them to. Let's see. On this side we got this piece, as I mentioned earlier, and so that's the top of the Snowspeeder. And then, if we're really careful, we can take it off the stand. Here we go. So we have a lot of ice skates on the bottom of this thing, and that is another gripe because they keep falling off. Makes holding it pretty hard because I always put my fingers right here where the ice skates are, but I figured if you just hold it on the sides or maybe right here, that helps the stability of holding it, luckily. We have a little bit of landing gear right here, which unfolds a bit, so I actually had it sitting on that, so it can rest on that, which works kind of well, but then that is what made one of the plates fall off the front, is that sort of gave way. But still a lot of detailing underneath. Like, they didn't even have to include that because it has a stand, but they're going for accuracy here. Then we got some paneling underneath, a lot of orange. Overall, looked right from the bottom as well, with then a spot there for the stand. Speaking of which, so we have the stand, which has the detail sheet, and it'll tell you all about the Snowspeeder. We got the Minifigs there. They are nameless on the box. They probably have names in the cannon. And then the display itself is pretty stable, although it can go straight and then it can lean forward. And as try as I might to have it stay up straight when holding the Snowspeeder, it's just heavy enough that it always wants to lean forward, which gives me a little shock
when it does it by itself. So I'd recommend doing that manually, just displaying it at an angle. It'll let it show itself off from the front, from the top side, a little bit more than just grabbing a side angle of the Snowspeeder. Taking a closer look at the Minifigs, we see this one has a gunmetal gray helmet, not usually seen on the pilots. He has a white set of binoculars, that's really cool, and some arm printing. We don't see those too often on Minifigs either, so that's really cool that we're getting that. The front is standard A-wing pilot design, as is the back, and he has a scared face along with his happy face. Alright. And then this guy looks like a more normal pilot. The white, the rebel symbols. Again, he's got the arm printing. It's the same torso. And then happy face and sad face. So scared face. That is a Snowspeeder. A lot of details. You can hold it, swish it around. It's kind of heavy though, so be careful. You got the panels, you got some detailing. The stickers, not as bad as I thought they would be. I still don't appreciate them. The stand works great. The biggest complaint is just all the little bits that will fall off. Some of the tiles here might fall off while building. The ice skates are going to fall off when you're trying to hold it. Things might be a little flimsy here and there. Just something you have to deal with, I guess. Alright. So, that's the review. Please be sure to check out BZPower for the full text review. Be sure to like the video, comment on the video, subscribe for more LEGO reviews and all kinds of news. Check us out on Twitter and online. Visit the forums. Yeah, and we'll have more set reviews for you coming up. Thanks for watching. This is ChocolateFrogs signing off.